I don't stand side by side with nobody till I bleed with them first.
What did we just see? You probably think this world is a dream come true.
When I step into this ring, yeah, bro, I am addicted.
Don't sleep on Luca!
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42.
If you fight for your dreams will fight for you.
Now more than ever, this past stretch of Phillies games have honestly been the most confusing to watch. The team just has sort of struggled a bit, especially in the past game stretch since August 9th. It's been quite confusing. A lot of it's been disappointing, and it's just tough to really tell what's going on with the team, you know. But at the same time, hopefully things are looking up and getting back on pace. But at the same time, they've just sort of plateaued in a bit. If that's I think that's the best way I can describe it. Where, you know, they're just kind of going back and forth with these wins and losses, losing series that they shouldn't. You know, it's not really what you want to see from them, especially as we approach September, which Philly fans know is always like the worst month for us. There's always that September curse, September collapse that we always have. But, you know, at the same time, they built themselves quite a steady lead, if I do say so myself. You know, they're about 10, 11 games above 500, which is great. But also at the same time, you know, that's the being above 500 isn't the focus. It's the wild card that you want to focus on. And right now, I think we still have a 3-game lead over the other wild card teams that are in contention, such as the Cubs, the Giants, the Diamondbacks. You know, so we still got quite a lead, but at the same time, anything can happen, especially with the next series that we're playing through currently at this moment. It's against the Giants, you know, and though, you know, we'll get into the first win in the good, you know, we still have 2 more games. We could easily lose those, and, you know, the Giants could end up, you know, gaining some traction on us losing that first wild card spot. And also, you know, as I previewed, I think in the last episode, the upcoming stretch, it looks a bit, you know, to end the month, it's, you know, it looks a bit better. It's something that you hopefully can, you know, take care of business with and get the win with. But that's yet to see, you know. But getting ahead of myself, how about we get first into what was the good from this past stretch?
First pitch swinging.
Oh, and first pitch crushing.
So, the last time we did a Phillies recap, it was August 9th. We had just lost one, or it was a doubleheader. We had won one game against the Nationals, and then we lost the next one. That loss really sucked because it was 5-4. You know, like it was real close. But it was, so we left off there on that Wednesday. I don't remember anything I said. I think I did mention that Lorenzen was going to be getting his second start, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what he does. Well, let's just talk about that whole game, because honestly, this whole game is the good of the past stretch, you know. In this game, we saw Weston Wilson be called up and make his first MLB debut, his major league debut, you know, and they mentioned that he's someone who's been in the minors for quite some time. He comes up, it's his first at bat, boom, home run in his first at bat. I don't know what it was, but watching that, I was like, man, that's just so cool, you know. It was such a cool moment to see. He had like a bunch of family in the stands. And then on the opposite side of that, Nick Castellanos hit 2 home runs in this game to get to 200. That was real cool. All the memes about his son just being all over the place that night, just running all over. But that was cool to see Nick hit 200. And then, of course, the main highlight of this video, despite, you know, what we'll get into later, but the main highlight of this video, the main highlight of this past stretch, Michael Lorenzen in his second start for the Phillies, his first start at Citizens Bank Park, and he goes on and throws a no-hitter, goes the 9 innings, 124 total pitches, struck out 5, walked 4 batters. And like he was saying, he wasn't aiming for strikes, you know. He was just, you know, trying his best. And, you know, the balls just kept getting hit out, thankfully, to center field for Rojas to catch, you know. No hitter from Michael Lorenzen. An absolutely insane and emotional night. Watching this live was so much fun. And all the post-game stuff was just so emotional and so fun. And, you know, this is honestly one of the greatest games of any sport I watched. You know, like seeing that happen with the whole, you know, Weston Wilson, Nick Castellanos, and Michael Lorenzen combined, like that was just one of the most emotional and fun nights of baseball and really any sport I've watched. That was just so much fun, so good. Michael Lorenzen did really good that game. From there, we went on to win the next game, so we won that series against the Nationals. We got a win against Minnesota, 13-2. Excuse me. In that game, Christopher Sanchez, I do got a highlight from the pitching side. You know, we're gonna talk more about the pitching in the second half, but Christopher Sanchez, his past 2 starts, he's actually done really well. His 2 starts were against Minnesota in this game and Washington on the 19th. And in both those, he went 6 innings. He only allowed 2 earned runs in each one. The Minnesota one, he ended up laying up 2 home runs. But, you know, when you get the run support that you get in these games, 12-3 and 13-2, you know, you don't mind him letting that up. He struck out 5 in both games. You know, he's actually been a real good quality starter, you know. It's so surprising to see, but he's done real well. And it gives you a bit of faith at times that, like, if any of our guys need extra rest, we can throw him in there and give them an extra day. Oh, excuse me. There was the win against Toronto. Nola that game, he did let up a home run, but he struck out 7. There was 4 earned runs on his part. He only went 5, so it wasn't the best. Compared to yesterday. Now, yesterday it was a bit iffy. He did let up 2 home runs, but those were the only earned runs he let up. He only, he went 7 innings. He struck out 5. That was a pretty good game for him against the Giants yesterday. Again, not the best with the 2 home runs. Nola's like leading at this point with the amount of home runs he's allowed. I've mentioned it from time to time. It's just kind of disappointing. There was the explosive game against the Nationals 2 days ago, I believe it is. Or it might be 3 days ago at this point. Nick Castellanos got a home run. Trey Turner got 2 home runs in the same inning. That was insane. Bryson Stott had a home run. Jake Cave had a home run. And then yesterday's game against the Giants, I do got a highlight. Another crazy game where, what's it called? Edmundo Sosa got a home run. Alec Bohm got a home run. And then we saw, Schwarber got a home run as well. And then Harper had an inside the park home run. That was pretty crazy. Harper turned on the wheels for that. It looks like they credited it to him, but I was just wondering, I was like, I wonder if they're going to give that to him, considering the fact that there was like the part where like the outfielder like fumbled the ball like twice, you know. So I was wondering were they going to give it to him, but on here I think it says so. So that was pretty crazy to see. It's always that center field wall that gets the defenders, the way it can bounce off. If you remember JT's inside the Parker, you know. So that was pretty fun. I loved the call on it from McCarthy. That was real good, you know. And you know, games like that I've just gone over, you know. It's like, it's what you want from the Phillies. It's what you want to see, you know. It's these emotional games that get you invested. It's these games where, you know, they're playing to their potential, they're doing well. And then there's games where they also do play to their potential. It just doesn't go in their favor, you know. But, you know, these games are the true highlights of it, obviously, which is why they're the good. They've been doing pretty well at points like this. But at the same time, they've had their struggles, and boy, have their struggles really, really, really been bad in this stretch.
First pitch swinging.
Oh, and first pitch crushing!
So, obviously the bad, We have one of the games against Minnesota where they only get 1 run scored in the 7th, and other than that, they couldn't get nothing. You know, it was 8-1. This was a game where Taijuan Walker wasn't looking his best. He only went 5 innings. He let up two home runs. Then Gregory Soto and Junior Marte let up a home run each. You know, Jeff Hoffman let up 2 home runs. Matt Strom let up. Oh wait, no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong game. But yeah, that's 3 home runs. Gregory Soto let up 4 earned runs. You know, it's a game like that, pitching wise, is not what you want to see from a guy like Taijuan, who's leading us in wins. Not what you want to see from the bullpen, and not what you want to see from your batters, as there's zeros all across the board. Harper had a hit. Castellanos had 2 hits. Trey Turner had 3 hits that game and a walk. You know, JT, Jake Cave, and Castro each had a hit. Castro actually had the lone RBI in this game. But yeah, it's like, that really isn't what you want to see in a game against, you know, a team like the Twins. And they end up losing the next game 0-3 as well. Just not what you want to see. They lose the first Toronto game 2-1. This one was a bit disappointing, as they ended up letting up the winning run in the 8th, and they just couldn't get anything going for themselves. You know, it's again zeros across the board. A ton of people just striking out at the plate. Not what you want to see. This one was just real disappointing. I just wasn't too invested in this game. I was just very much annoyed with that and the 2 Minnesota games. We ended up losing to the Nationals 8-7. I can't remember if this was the game. This was Michael Lorenzen's game where he only went 3.1 innings. He let up a home run, 6 earned runs allowed. And if I remember correctly, this is the one where, again, it's not to put too much hate or pressure on the lad, but I'm pretty sure this is the one where Johan Rojas dropped like an easy, or not easy, because, you know, no ball is easy in baseball, but he dropped like what looked like a pretty routine play, or not really routine. I guess it was just like, you know, he was trying to get there in time. He looked like he got there in time, and then he just kind of fumbled the catch, and that allowed the inning to continue. And then from there, it was just disaster for poor Michael Lorenzen. Just let up hit after hit and home run. It was just real tough, you know, to watch that one and to see that defensive mishap led to that huge inning for the Nationals. And that was after we had a huge inning ourselves. So we were down 1. You know, it was 0-1 and heading into the 4th. And then we went out and scored 6 in the 4th inning, but they came back and scored 6 themselves, and now they're up 7-6. Then they score again in the 6th. We only get 1 in the 9th. Yeah, it was just so disappointing to watch. It just really sucked, that loss especially. It was like, man, you just wonder what would have happened if, you know, Rojas was able to make that catch and make that play. And then we also lost to Washington again, 4-3. In this game, Wheeler, I mean, he struck out 5 people. He went 7 innings, but he let up 4 earned runs, and, you know, the team themselves just couldn't really, or he let up those 4 earned runs in the first and then went all the way without letting up any more. Like, that's pretty great, you know, except for the fact, obviously, he let up the runs, but it's like, if he was going to let up those runs, at least, you know, he went the rest of the way, not allowing anything. But then the Phillies can't get anything until the 9th, and it's like, at that point, you know, what is it all worth? You know, it's like they get things going in the 9th, but it's still not enough. They lose 4-3. They lose by 1 run again. That makes them lose the series against the Nationals. So we lose against the Twins. We tie the Toronto series, and we lose against the Nationals. And now we're heading to the Giants series, where we have 1 win so far, but who knows how the rest of the 2 games are going to go, especially considering how it went earlier in the season. So just really not what you want to see, especially out of the pitching staff. You know, like, I'm just really disappointed with the pitching as of late. You know, Ranger let up a home run in his game against the Twins. He let up the 2 earned runs. He went at least 6.1 innings, but again, it was kind of like I mentioned in the last video. It's just really not the best, you know. Like, it's decent for Ranger, but it's not what you want out of it. Walker, again, he had that bad game against the Twins. Lorenzen, you know, again, got to give him props for a no-hitter, but that he did have that, he did have, you know, the game against the Nationals, which, you know, I won't fully put the blame on him because it seems like he kind of got in his own head after Rojas dropped that ball, you know, maybe the pressure got to him, so, I mean, it just wasn't the best start, you know. Hopefully he can bounce back in one of these upcoming games, you know. But yeah, pitching staff hasn't been doing too well. The hitting has been hit or miss, you know. They've been either going crazy or just not doing well, you know. Like they've been here or there with it. It's not what you want to see, but you're just hoping they can improve. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else, you know. Looking forward, again, you got the rest of this Giants series. After that, you got St. Louis for 3 games, hoping, you know, you can not only win that series but potentially sweep. It's gonna be hard, but like you gotta build some type of. You gotta build a further cushion than 3 games above the wild card, you know, solely because again we got this Giant series. After that, I mean, I don't think we play any more of the teams that we potentially could be facing off. Sorry, not facing off, but like fighting off for that top wild card spot. But at the same time, it's a pretty tough schedule. I mean, the Angels have been struggling since the deadline, but you know, you still gotta take them serious and, you know, at least win that series. You got Milwaukee again, and you got the Padres again. To me, this looks like 4 series that you should come away with the win for. But knowing the Phillies, they're gonna drop they're gonna drop 2 of these series at least, in my opinion. And that's not me being pessimistic. Like, I just know it. Like, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna drop 2 of these series, and you know, it's gonna be a tight race at that point. And again, the Milwaukee and Padres series are entering September. They really need to heat up. They can't continue this whole struggle in September thing, you know. But overall, again, looking forward, I want them to close out this Giant series. I want them to win the next 4 series. I think they can. I believe they can. But at the same time, I just have a feeling that they're going to drop 2 of them. And overall, I just really, out of everything, I don't mind the pitching being here or there. You know, I would want it to be more consistent. But if there's one thing I want to be more consistent going forward, I really need the pitching staff to step it up. You know, I really need that group of 6 guys and the bullpen to just really truly start pitching at elite level, you know, pitching at their best and continuing that on towards this playoff push, hopefully in the playoffs, you know. I just really want that team to really improve and do their best.